Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna cover how to use and how to launch Tabletop Simulator for Saga Age of Vikings, Age of Crusades. I want to focus on those two because it's much easier to find miniatures for those two. But if you want to search for custom miniatures to do Age of Magic, this is also possible. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do first, you need to create a server. Okay, you have three ways to playing it, but if you want to play with your friend online, you obviously have to use the multiplayer. Once you did it, you have to give your server a nice name. So let's put Saga and then a password, Saga as well. Once you do this, you will create server. You need to tell your friend to go here and hit join and then put this server name. And once the tabletop will prompt him to put a password, he will need to put this password to join your game. Okay, so this is like the basic table. There's nothing here. If you want to load your game, you need to go to games and then find the plugin you want. As you can see, I've got plenty of board games and war games here, but the one I'm interested in is obviously this one, Saga Age of Vikings, Age of Crusades Consolidated. This is the one that we have installed before. Now, what you see here is like an error message that is showing every now and then in various plugins in Tabletop Simulator. I don't really know why this is showing up, but once you close it, it should basically disappear and you'll never see it again. So that should be fine. Okay, so the general overview and rules how to use this Tabletop Simulator. You can use your keyboard letter W, S, A, and D to move the camera around. You can use your mouse scroll in, scroll out to make the camera go closer and farther away. Now, once you hold your right mouse button and move around, you will be able to pan the camera and rotate it around. So that's the basics. Okay. Now you can basically grab objects and move them around. You can flip the objects by hitting the letter F on your keyboard. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. What else? You can select many objects by drawing rectangles around them, like in RTS games. So yeah, as you can see, you can do this, you can do this. If you seriously screw something, you can basically move rewind time by 10 seconds. Obviously error again, but yeah, we will leave with that. Now these are the special Saga dice rollers. They are super cool because they make rolling plenty of dice much easier. So you have one for attack dice and one for defense dice, how you use them. So one way to basically roll dice in Saga is basically grab a dice. Much easier when you draw a rectangle around the dice or many of them, and then just hit the R button on your keyboard several times. It will start rolling the dice. This is good for like single dice when you want to establish who is the first player and who is not. As with any object in the game, you can basically use copy and paste function like Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V as anywhere else. So I do copy and then paste. I'm basically hitting Ctrl-V on my keyboard. That will multiply the dice. You can again draw a rectangle around them and then hit R button on your keyboard several times to roll them. But obviously if you have a roll like that and you have to establish how many of them actually rolled, 5 or 6, it's not the most convenient way to do it. That's why we are gonna use the dice rollers. You can obviously delete it as well. Just hit delete. Okay, so let's say I want to roll 12 attack dice. So I just increase the number and then I just hit the number here and the system will automatically roll the dice and also arrange them by numbers, which is super cool. So now I can easily see that, for example, I was hitting on 5+, so I've got 2 hits, right? And you don't have to delete those dice. On the next roll, just increase or decrease the number of dice, hit the number, it's gonna clear them off and roll it again, right? So you've got another one for defense dice, so you can easily track how many hits your opponent rolled, how many defense dice you have to add. And like during the game, when you are adding your defense dice because you're using Saga abilities, you can say, yeah, I'm gonna start with 4 defense dice before you even roll your attack dice. And let's say your opponent scored 5 more hits, so you just increase this to 9 and roll it. Easy peasy. Okay. So you've got the board with pretty much triple L on each side. You've got the fatigue tokens. You've got the rulers here. As with any other object, you can basically hold it with your mouse and move it around. You can rotate it in the following way. You have to hold it in your hand by, keep your mouse clicked with your left mouse button, and then roll your scroll on your mouse. It's gonna rotate it. Or you can also roll it around if you don't have a scroll with Q and E. Okay, Q and E on your keyboards. Right, so we've got this, we've got this. Here you've got this nice bags, so you can grab dice from inside. These are the infinite bags, so the amount of dice inside is infinite, so you can basically move them one after another. Or you can just use copy and paste. So I've got 3 and I've got, sorry, once again, Control C, Control V, yeah, I've got 6 and now I'm gonna get 8, yeah, and that's all I need. So I've got my 8 dice if I want to play my nomads. You can roll dice like this as well, but they're gonna flow all around the table, so I don't recommend you use it. It's much better when you just draw a rectangle around them and then hit R on your keyboard many times. And the more you roll it, the more you click it, the more they will roll. So yeah, that's it. Cool. You also have battle boards here, 12 for Vikings, 12 for Crusades. If you want to open the bag and see what's inside, you need to hit it with your right mouse button and hit search. And that will show you everything. It's small, as you can see, but there's another thing on the Tabletop Simulator. If you are floating your mouse around an object and holding the Alt button, it will make it slightly larger. Okay? So what I want to do today, I want to show you, like, let's say Crusaders versus maybe Vikings, because why not? Search, and I'm gonna grab, where are the Vikings? Vikings. So I've got my battle boards now, okay? They are from different packs, so this one is slightly smaller, this one is slightly larger. You can enlarge and make small any object in the game by hovering your mouse around it and then hitting plus and minus button. I know some of you might want to see a larger version of it, so we can do it that way. Okay, so let's say the Viking player is sitting here and the Crusader player is sitting there. Okay, you want to see the bigger version of this when you are looking at the table from the overview? Just hold Alt button and it will show you the large version of it. Yeah, cool. So let's say we've got this sorted out. Now we need the dices as well. So let's grab some dice. So one for this guy, and then we're just gonna copy and paste it. 5, 6, 7, 8. And the Crusaders are gonna use the Christian dice. So let's grab one. I don't even know if there is 8 or not, but it doesn't matter really. If you want to delete them, just delete them by hitting the delete button. Deleting is actually like an advanced function, so not every player that joins your table will be able to do this. If you want to allow other players to be able to delete stuff and import it, you have to click their names. If your friend will join you, you will see his nickname here in the top right corner of the screen. You have to hit his name, and there will be an option here called promote. Then you promote the player and he's got like the administration access to this table, so he can copy and paste stuff around as well. Cool, so we have this, and now let's go to the next part, which is gathering miniatures. So first of all, I put all the stuff here around and I don't want to lose it, so I'm gonna save my game for now. I'm gonna hit games and I'm gonna hit save and load, and then I will hit create, and I am gonna call it Saga Game in Progress. I've got one like this already here, so I'm gonna give it number 2. Okay, so it's saved. Right, let's grab some Vikings miniatures because that's the easy part. So games, and then I've got all these plugins here. So what I need to find is a plugin with Saga miniatures, okay? And then I remember that they are all in the plugin called Saga Armies of the Continent, I think. So I basically hit load and that loaded up. Nope, that's not this one. Where are they then? Hold on a second, please. Well, actually, I'm not sure now. I think they might be here. Saga Age of Vikings. Yeah, that's the one. So that's the plugin that includes all the battle boards, all the dice, and all the miniatures. As you can see, the miniatures are loading up, so all those like ugly rectangles are gonna disappear. And I've got my battle book, I've got my the book for the era and the basic rule book and like banners and all the stuff that you need. But we are not gonna take it just yet. We just need the miniatures for the Vikings now. Okay, so we've got Vikings here. So what I can do, I can grab all of those miniatures, but the Tabletop Simulator sometimes has some issues when loading and moving around a lot of miniatures. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna grab one warlord. I'm gonna grab these berserkers. What else? I'm gonna grab Fistful of Archers. I can copy more of them later, as you remember. So I just need 4 to start with. And then I also want 1 unit of Hard Guards. So I'm just gonna grab these guys. They are called Varangians here apparently, but I'm okay with that. Oh, these are the normal Hard Guards. Okay, Varangians are cooler, so let's grab them. And then I'm gonna need a lot of warriors because why not? So that's what I wanna grab, right? So obviously I select them all, and now I have 2 ways to importing them to the other table. First of all, I can hit right button and I can hit save objects. And then I'm gonna save this object as Viking army. Okay, so I have now saved them and they are on my local account, so I can call for them and summon them anytime I want, anywhere I want. Okay. But the other way is very simple. You don't need to save them. You just need to hit Ctrl C or right button copy, and they are well, you can now paste them anywhere you want. So look, I can now hit Ctrl V and they're gonna spawn here. So I want to do this but on the other table, right? So I'm gonna hit games and I'm gonna go to Saga game in progress and I want to load it up. Remember that one, right? Obviously the error, but we don't care about that. Everything I've saved here. And now let's see if my army is gonna copy correctly. Yeah, let's get rid of this. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl V here and see what happens. Okay, that happens a lot, right? They just fall down. That's why I don't, for example, copy 12 archers, because I know I will have to arrange them again. So yeah, that's my warlord. Give me my Varangians, please. That's another one. Where else is he? Okay, when placing miniatures, you have to look at the shadows. The shadows are super useful. Okay, so if the shadows is gonna go on this guy, then he will fall or like overlap his base. But as long as I watch the shadow, I can easily arrange them. I can move them around, obviously, with my mouse, cycling my mouse. And then Varangians, more Varangians, and then my archers. 1, 2. Yeah, you can flip them around by hitting the F button, as I said before. Yeah, let's put the archers. Ah, come on, come on. Once you get used to this, it's gonna go easier. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste them. So I've got now 8 archers, but I need 12. So yeah, these are my archers. I will be using them in 6x2 formation, so I'm just gonna do this. Easy peasy. Okay, and then my warriors. Should have 8 of them right now. So let's put them together nicely. Yeah, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, and then my berserkers and more berserkers. Right, so as you can see, I've got 1 point, 2nd point, 3rd point, 4th point, 4 points, but I want 6. So because I like to use my Valhalla ability, I'm gonna use a lot of warriors. So I now have 6 points army, right? But then I also want my warrior units to be large and nice, so I can get more use of the Saga Valhalla ability. So I'm just gonna do this. Or actually, yeah, 2 units of 10 and 1 unit of 4, so they can just generate an easy Saga dice. So that's my 6 points Viking army. Okay, that wasn't too difficult, I hope. So I am gonna save this again, save and load, and I'm gonna choose this game and I'm gonna hit overwrite, so I don't have to put the name again. Do you want to overwrite? Yes, I do. Okay, So I've got this army saved up right now. Now, with the Crusaders, let me just rotate the table. This is slightly more complicated because there are no like dedicated miniatures for Age of Crusades, but almost everything in Age of Crusades can be very easily proxied by Saga Age of Vikings miniatures. So for Crusaders, I'm mostly gonna use the Normans miniatures. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the Vikings again. So that's the one. Age of Vikings load. Yep. Again, this will take like 30 seconds to load up properly, but I can live with that. Got my Normans here, I can see it already. Cool. So I want the generic, I want a mounted warlord, Norman warlord. Okay, that's him. Nice. Now I want some crossbowmen, and they are actually here. So I'm gonna grab 4 of those crossbow. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, it's all working. Nice. So I'm gonna get 4 crossbowmen. I will multiplicate them later. I want a unit of like generic warriors on foot, so Norman warriors they should do. And then I also want some mounted Crusader knights, so I'm just gonna grab Norman Hard Guards. Let me take those 4. Okay. I'm gonna use the other option now, so I will save this as Norman warlord. Okay, save. Cool. Let's go back to the Saga game in progress. So I choose this again, load. All here, including my Vikings. So let's just do this. If you have saved your army, as I did just a moment ago, you go to Objects and you choose the saved objects. And I have some stuff that I'm using for various stuff. I'm gonna use the Norman Warband now. Ooh, look, they have even spawned without, falling from the ground and getting knocked all around. So that's probably the easier way to do it. Save as object. Cool. So I've got the first point of my army is just gonna be crossbow levies. So I will do this. Let's put them together as a nice unit. Now, if you want to, you can change the name of it, not for your opponent not to be confused which is what, because he might think this is a warrior. Okay. Then actually I have to do it again. So let me call them Crusader levies. Crusader levies. Although I think that is gonna only change the name of this one guy. Well, we can live with that, that's fine. Oh no, where are the bases? Because I didn't select him all and just the miniature, it would copy and paste him without the base. So remember to select the whole miniature together before using copy and paste. And now I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I've got 12 of them, and they are all nicely named Crusader levies. Okay, and I've got Warlord, I've got this guy, then I've got these guys. Nicely done. I've got 2 points now. I need 4 more points, so I'm gonna use more of the knights. So now this way I've got 5 points army, but I also want to use some mercenaries for these guys. So let me grab this and put it here. So that's my army so far. And let's say I want to use the Turcopoles, the mounted warriors with bows, the Arabic looking warriors. So I'm gonna save this for now. Saga game in progress 2. Override. Cool. So in order to do this, I need the plugin for the mercenaries, which I should have somewhere here. Now, as I said, there are no dedicated miniatures for Age of Crusades, but with this plugin you can also proxy a lot of stuff. So you've got mercenary scouts with javelins and with arrows. You've got your personal champion Wandering Bard in the mounted version. Then you've got all the priests you want. You even have freaking Gandalf. And then you've got Flemish mercenaries, Galgadil, Angry monks, mercenary Bretons, and these guys that I'm gonna use. They are called steppe nomads, but I think they can fit for the Turcopoles, so I'm gonna grab those guys. Now, I decided I want to play, let's say, the old feud scenario, which includes the special characters. So let's say one player have chosen the brute or maybe the warrior, and I think this guy is the perfect proxy for like a super strong warrior that can issue orders to your troops and stuff. And let's say the other guy said he wants to use the mystic, so let's grab Gandalf. I mean, he's a priest, but he looks like Gandalf, right? So I'm gonna put him here. And now I've got this, so I'm just gonna maybe not copy it because saving worked better last time. So save object, mercenary, Turcopoles, and old feud heroes. Cool. Now let's go back to the other game, Saga game in progress 2. Sorry, just load. Okay, we didn't want the error, and then just games, nope, not games, objects, saved objects, and I've got my mercenary Turcopoles and old feud heroes. Bam, I've got this. So these guys go for the Crusaders, so they should be here. And then let's say the priest goes for Crusaders as well, and the Vikings are getting the brute. Right, so we did it. Okay, now let's start the game. Okay, so let's say we are rolling the dice. We have rolled the dice, and let's say the Vikings want to be the first player, so they are grabbing the terrain. Let's say they're gonna grab the large forest and put it here, and then the other player is saying, okay, I'm gonna grab the lake and put it here. Now the Viking player is saying, okay, I'm just gonna grab the ruins or something. Where are the ruins? They are here. So you've got ruins and you've got rocky ground. So the ruins are gonna go here. And then the other player is saying, okay, that's enough for me. That's enough terrain. I actually want to get this lake out of the table. So he's allowed to move it, I think, the M. I don't actually remember now what's the distance, but that's okay. Now look at the shadow. The shadow allows you to like almost precisely measure all the distances. So let's say I want to move it to the left, so I'm just going to put it here, then I slide it around, and then just move this like this far away. Like this kind of creates a line, so it's okay. Just remember this, like a lot of these distances and stuff is just like an assumption, so it's not for a very competitive game, more, you know, to have some fun during the quarantine. Okay, now what you don't want to do, you don't want to move those terrains around during your game because you don't want to do this. So you have to lock them in place. Okay, in order to do it, you right click it, you go to toggles, and then you lock it. Once it's locked, you can't, you know, select it or do anything with it until you unlock it. So I have unlocked all those terrains. I have locked all those terrains, so I can't move them around. So it's fine. Now, if I remember the old feud scenario rules nicely, I've got those rulers here. I think the challengers need to start with an L of the table edge, so I'm just going to put this here. Remember what I said about the shadows. You can put this very nicely close to the table edge by using the shadow. So that's the distance I have to put my challenger, so I'm just going to put this guy here. Face front to the enemy because he's very brave, obviously. And now the other guy. And now the other guy. This should work. And now the other guy is just going to start here. Bam. Cool. Now, I think now the first player is like placing half of his units. So let's put this Viking unit here. And then let's place the archers inside the ruins. They should basically, or maybe not, sorry. I'm just gonna rewind time by 10 seconds not to ruin this. Okay, 10 more seconds. Yeah, you can use it from time to time. It's gonna load again, but it's making things tidy. Okay, so the walls are actually interrupting this a bit, but nothing we can't deal with. So what I'm gonna do, I will place them here and see how many of them can fit. I think 10 of them can fit easily. So I just put these two guys. Okay, almost perfect. Almost perfect. I can put this guy slightly to the front. I don't really care if he's slightly bent or not, but I will put this guy here and this guy here, and that's my archers. Okay, you can tell your opponent basically these two guys are staying here and here, and if he's a nice guy, he'll say, yeah, that's fine, that's what we do, and we don't really care about, you know, all the like millimeters here, especially in this game. So I'm gonna put my Vikings here. So that's 2 of my units on the table. I've got 7, so I have to put 2 more. So I'm gonna put another unit of warriors here. And then I will also place my... Where's my warlord party, by the way? He's here, okay. I'm gonna place him here, so obviously he can issue orders to the levies. Right, now the Crusader guy is placing everything he's got. So let's say he will have sorry, 2 units of 6 hard guards each, so I need this to be the first unit, and I'm gonna place them here, and then I want my crossbowmen to occupy the forest to have some cover from incoming enemy fire, so I'll place them here, yeah, okay, and then the unit of war, sorry, I didn't want to do that, just happened, so let's just rewind time a bit. Okay, so the warriors are here to cover the flank of these guys, and then my second unit of hard guards, I can put them, I think I can put them here like a flanking force. If I'm not sure this is far enough, I can just move this around. I think they are a bit too far. No, maybe they aren't, or maybe they are. Let's just move them back slightly. And then the Turco poles, I think I can just put them here, and that's not that very important. And my warlord is gonna start here. Cool. So let's start the game. Handshake, virtual handshake. The Vikings are starting, counting my units. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, I have to place the rest of the units as well. That's a good point. And my Varangians here, and then the 4, they are just here to, you know, to generate Saga dice, so I don't want them to go close to the enemy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Saga dice. Okay, so let's grab those 7 Saga dice. 6 and I've got 7. Okay, let's roll them. So again, drawing circle, hitting R several times, then. Okay, so that's my dice roll. Okay, I want to move my levies a bit out of the forest in the first round, so I'm just gonna put this here, and then I have 2 large units of warriors, so in case I'm gonna need it, I'm just gonna put it here. I want to use my what was the defensive ability? Odin. Yeah, I want to use Odin for those pesky crossbowmen. And then let's say I want to use my... That was actually the first one. You can always flip it by hitting numbers from 1 to 6. So that was, I think, just the basic one. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move them. I'm just gonna play 1 round, okay, for you guys to see how it works. So you can very easily measure distance between units by using the line tool. Okay. So what I can do, I can basically draw a line from this unit to this and see that there is like 13.1 inch between them. So that is a bit far away, but I'm pretty sure I will be able to move my archers out of this and like shoot at this guy here, because like why not? Okay, so let's say I'm gonna say my warlord is using his how is it called, we obey ability on these guys. So I'm just gonna grab the S and put it here and see how far they can get. Okay, so shadows to shadows, I think like this is the ruler, and then I'm grabbing these guys and I'm just basically gonna move them. Look at the shadows. Yeah, it's almost exactly here, probably slightly to the back. That's it. And then because I declared to my enemy that they are basically staying here and here, I'm just gonna place them here, and everyone should be happy. Okay. Okay, now let's measure range. How many of them can shoot at this priest here? So line again, and then like if you do it from the top, it's slightly more precise. So I've got 11, like this guy is out of range, let's say, and this guy is out of range, like these 2 guys, let's say. So I've got 10 of them shooting at him, so I should have 5 dice to do it. Okay, first I have to spend my Saga Levy dice. Okay, I'm gonna shoot him, and that will grant me 5 attack dice. Okay, So I'm reducing this to 5 and rolling this. Oops, sorry, it actually did not delete. It sometimes happens, probably because I loaded up the game and saved it. So I'm just gonna select those dice and delete it. Oops, don't do that. Rewind time 10 seconds. All good. Okay, they should actually be locked. If they are locked, you won't be able to delete them. So I'm gonna grab one die here, choose it, select it, place the die back in the place, and then roll 5 dice. Nice. I think he's armor 3, if I remember correctly, so we've got 3 hits, right? So he is gonna roll 3 defense dice. Bam and bam. And he had saved one of those. So he would get 2 wounds, but if I remember correctly, the Mystic has got the Resilience 1 roll, so I'm just gonna grab those 2 and put them here. Okay. So Vikings did something, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm just gonna speed it up to show you some close combat. I move these guys forwards. I move these guys forwards. I spent some dice. I did some advance, some maneuver abilities, and it's Crusaders' turn. Okay, so the Crusaders are gonna roll. I think 6 dice should be that. So they have rolled 6 dice. They got some abilities. They put like 2 of them here. So they want to charge with the hard guards, and I want some like nice melee ability as well. 10, 10, 10. Do I have a helmet? Yeah, I do. So find chinks in their armor. Okay. So what I'm doing now, I'm activating this unit, and they should not have range to any charge just yet. It's fine. So I'm just gonna move them once here, and then I will say, oh, these archers actually should have fatigue as well because they have shot. And I'm gonna say I've spent 1 dice to move closer, and then another one. You can actually lock this, and then another one to make a charge. So these guys are charging here, right? So again, you won't be able to put them like super close together because they will start bumping, but you can like do this and probably this, and it should be okay, right? Now I have charged with 6 of those guys, so I'm gonna start with saying, yeah, I've got 12 attack dice. And the Viking guy is gonna say, you know, actually I'm gonna close my ranks, so that will give me, I think this could generate the same issue like last time, so I'm just gonna do this, and he will say, okay, I've closed ranks, I've got 10 of them, so I'll have 5 attack dice as shown here. Now the Crusader guy is gonna say, okay, cool, I'm gonna use the find chinks in their armor, gain 4 attack dice. You must reroll each attack die that rolled scored a 6. So I'm gonna use this ability that will give me extra 4 attack dice. And that's it. The Viking guy didn't save anything on his board, let's say, so I'm gonna roll this 14 dice, but I have to reroll each 6. So what I did here, I have scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Okay, 7. Actually, I've rolled 6 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have to reroll that one. So I'm gonna do this. Just gonna grab this guy here and reroll it. Okay. Okay, that's not a hit. 3, 4, 5. So I've got 6 hits now, right? So the Viking guy, I'm telling him you'll have to roll 6 defense dice. So he just sets it here. Okay, and now he's saying, okay, my 5 attack dice. I'm hitting you on 5, but maybe he spent these guys fatigue to be hitting on 4. So let's say he hit 2 times. Okay, so now the Crusader guy is saying, okay, I will be rolling 2 defense dice. And now that's the time to roll the dice. So he's saying, okay, that's my 2 defense dice. I have failed both of them. So this guy is dead, this guy is dead. Okay, now the Viking guy is saying, okay, 6 for me. So I'm defending on 4s because I've closed my ranks, and as you can see, the shield wall is victorious, right? So these 2 guys, you can just like move them around, or you can just delete them by drawing a rectangle and hitting delete. And now both of those units are getting fatigues, and they have to move back by S, right? So you do this, and then you basically have to, obviously you will be selecting all of them, we don't want that. So we just need to select like kind of precisely, slightly more to the back, and then this guy as well, like with an S, so he probably should go like somewhere here. We should have roughly 4 inches between them. You can measure this if you want. 3.4, almost 4, that's perfect. And that's how the game goes. I think this is everything you need to know, so just try it yourself and enjoy the game. Thanks very much.